Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Butter What Show. I'm Pat Regan, and I'm going to be talking about coffee a lot today. So I hope my lovely co-host Brian C. Moses doesn't mind. Do you mind, Tubby?
I don't mind. I like coffee.
I had a conundrum this month, a few weeks ago, Tubby.
More than a conundrum.
Yeah. I've had this fantastic Rancilio Silvia espresso machine for, I think, the blog says about 8 years. August of 2014. Was that 8 years ago? Coming up
Close
on
enough.
it? Close enough.
It's April and August starts with an A, so I'm going to say 4 years.
Yeah.
8
well,
years.
I can't round. I'll round it. It's close enough. But she was just heating up like crazy. Her internals are fantastic. It's all very simple stuff. There's no electronics. There's no magic. There's no microcontrollers. It's just, there's physical thermostats that you hear and the relay pops and turn on. There's one for the brewing temperature at 100 Celsius. There's one for steaming at, I think it's 140 Celsius. And then there's a third thermostat that I don't even know what it is, but it's hot. It's very hot. And it has a physical button you have to hit to reset it if that one pops. And mine kept just lighting them all, even if you turned everything off except power. It was bad news. It was just heating everything up. I thought it was going to be a bad thermostat, so I replaced both of the thermostats. The brew thermostat was acting up 3 years ago, so I ordered a new one. And while I was waiting for it to show up, it just started working. So I never replaced it. So I figured, well, this time it must be both thermostats, right? That makes sense, doesn't it?
Seems reasonable.
I thought so. So I replaced the two thermostats, and it didn't help, Tubby. And then I noticed it was leaking out the top of the boiler. I figured maybe that's shorting something. It was bad news, but it doesn't matter. The important thing is it was a $4 gasket that I knew I needed to replace to stop the leak. But thankfully I said, it's only $100 for a new heater. And since I'm going into the deepest, darkest trenches of that espresso machine, I'd rather replace the heater today than, have it fail in 2 years.
That makes sense.
And Tubby, I have a picture here. The heater was cracked. Right here, you can see the wiring on the inside was... I think that wiring was shorting out and just keeping the heater going, forever.
Interesting.
That's my guess.
How long was Miss Silvia out of commission?
About a week and a half. Because I waited for the second thermostat, the steamer thermostat, to show up before I figured out that there's a leak. Then I had to order... the heater and the gaskets and stuff. And then once they came in, I got to work fast. I didn't have my good coffee for more than a week.
That's a long time to go.
It's a really long time to go. But the tragedy isn't really... That's all I've talked about so far, Tubby, but that's not what I'm excited about. I think this is awesome because a machine like the Rancilio Silvia, it's expensive, but everything inside is repairable. You could buy all of the individual components separately and build a Rancilio Silvia in your kitchen if you really wanted to. Yeah, I've been doing the math, Tubby. How many lattes do you think I've made in 8 years?
In 8 years? A latte of them.
A very latte of them. I figure it's somewhere between, on the very low side. Yeah, I'm just doing math because I didn't. I don't have a logbook. I'm not that organized. Definitely more than 3,000 lattes and probably more than 4,000 lattes. So if you amortize that out, the cost of a Rancilio Silvia today is a little over $800. And an appropriate grinder, like the one that I have that you can't buy anymore, was about $350. And, I've sunk a few $100s into repairs here and there of the grinder and the, parts and stuff. But I'm down at around just over 30 cents a latte is what the equipment has cost me over the last 8 years. And I think that's pretty reasonable.
I think Starbucks would be pretty excited about that. They'd consider you some severe competition.
Well, at least...
You don't have to pay your baristas, though.
I don't have to pay... I'm the barista, and I'm not very good at it, but I do a good enough job. And even at Starbucks, a latte is not that expensive. They might be $3. And I imagine I put $1 or $2 of milk and coffee... beans into those lattes. So it's not like I'm saving a lot of money. But what I figure I'm saving is time.
Yes.
Because it takes me about 6 or 7 minutes to make a latte in my kitchen. That's how long it would take me to walk into the Starbucks, place an order, do whatever you do and walk out, right?
Just get up and get out of the house and get into your car almost takes that long.
Yeah, and that's not even driving.
Yep.
Yeah, so you should buy an espresso machine, everyone.
If you're an espresso fan, you should buy an espresso machine.
Yeah, or if you like the milk drinks like I do, go buy an espresso machine. I don't know if that was a good story, Tubby, but
I like it.
It was meaningful to me.
Yeah. Well, and should we do a call to action there? Should we ask latte and espresso fans why they haven't bought an espresso machine yet?
We should. And if you do have an espresso machine, let us know what you're using. I mean, the Rancilio Silvia is there are only 2 machines that I know of that are real espresso machines that cost less than a Rancilio Silvia. Everything else is you could spend 10 or 20 times more easily on an espresso machine. And that's a lot. That's way more than my car costs. That's more than you sold your Corvette for. You don't need that in your kitchen. But
no.
If you have it,
maybe.
I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you. You're doing a good job. And
invite us over. We'll come drink your espresso.
We absolutely
or a latte.